Well, police have a hefty task ensuring COVID-19 compliance and fighting everyday crime. Minister Bheki Cele says they've arrested more than 20,000 people in the past 2 weeks for flouting lockdown regulations.
That's right, more than 7,000 of those people weren't wearing masks in public, and Nkosazana Dambuza is in Sidibeng, accompanying the SAPS members on their rounds. Colleague, a very good morning to you. I understand that you will be following around the SAPS as they make their rounds. I mean, what will be their focus in terms of their operation this morning?
Good morning, Dumelo. Yes, indeed. Members of the South African Police Service, as well as the Mfuleni Traffic Police Department, are conducting a roadblock here in Everton on the Golden Highway towards Sebokeng. And they are basically just checking on compliance to tighter restrictions under Level 3 lockdown. We know that police in Gauteng over the weekend arrested 1,200 suspects. And now I'll be joined by the acting provincial commissioner in Gauteng, and that is Tommy Mtombeni. Thank you so much for your time. Can you just briefly explain to us what exactly are police looking for here in terms of compliance?
Good morning. I must indicate that we're in Everton policing area. Once more again, is the operation for Gauteng Ukaimulao. Right here, we're on the roadblock, which is the second phase of the operation. The first phase we started yesterday up until this morning, which is intelligence and detectives. They managed to arrest 548 suspects, of which 81 were gender-based violence. Amongst them, we had 78, of which victims is women, and 3 is children, and 1 is rape. And the second phase, coupled with the arrest of the intelligence, we had the 2 car hijackings, which we have arrested, and here we had 3 vehicles which have been impounded for further inquiries as the engines were tampered with. And of course, there are people, those who are not complying, for example, not wearing a mask. We arrested those people. But over and above that, the operation is integrated. There are also tickets which are issued by National Traffic Police, Gauteng Traffic Police, as well as Mfuleni Traffic. This operation is indeed integrated, as we have tracker. And
all right, Commissioner, I'm just going to ask you to just talk us through what is happening here. We are seeing scenes of people being, cars being stopped rather, and some people being arrested for crimes such as driving under the influence of alcohol, possession of drugs, and contravention of COVID-19 regulations. What have we seen thus far? Have any arrests been made?
Yes, as I've indicated on the initial brief to say, we have arrested 2 people for car hijacking, which was a crime intelligence driven operation. And of course, in this roadblock, we had 3 of the vehicles which are impounded for inquiries. And further than that, there are people, those who are arrested for failure to comply with the regulation, which is Regulation 34.2, for failing to wear a face mask. And we are in Gauteng, as we say, Ukaimulao.
I'm just going to ask you, Commissioner, to walk with me this side. Just as we are seeing more and more cars being stopped, occupants being asked to go outside of their cars, what exactly are you looking for, and what are you urging citizens, particularly those who will be using this particular road to get to their destinations this morning?
What is critical on this roadblock is that the cars we're stopping, highly probably we might find a car which is hijacked. We might find a car which is transporting hijacked or house-robbed items within the cars. But most importantly, we're having our VCIU, which is a Vehicle Crime Investigation Unit, which checks the issue of the VIN number, whether this VIN number corresponds with the VIN number which is on the car and also on the engine. And if it's tampered with, we confiscate the car for further investigation so that we can determine as to say what actually happened with the car. But it's critical to have this roadblock because at the end of the day, we're having trouble with the car hijackings, we're having trouble with the house robberies, we're having trouble with the business robberies, of which the items might be transported.
And can we expect police to move to other parts of the Sedibeng district today?
Yes, of course, because the operation itself is not focused. This second phase operation is not only focused on the roadblock. There are also other issues which has to be looked into, like the issues of the liquor. There might be people who are selling liquor under circumstances of which the regulation clearly indicates they are not supposed to be selling. We're having also the drugs, the problems of the drugs, second-hand goods, which we have to look into. And ultimately we'll also go to the malls to check whether there's a compliance in terms of regulation. People who are getting to the shops, are they having masks? Are they sanitized? Does the shop managers comply with the disaster management regulations?
Commissioner, let's talk more about the safety of the police officers themselves. Do we have a number of how many police officers currently have been confirmed to have COVID-19?
At this stage, I could not give rightfully on the spot the numbers, but I must indicate that as South African Police Service, as we are the front line services or providing that service, interacting with the communities, we are also not immune to the pandemic. We are, of course, heavy members of the South African Police Service, those who are affected by COVID-19.
Thank you so much, Commissioner, for your time. That was the Acting Provincial Commissioner in Gauteng, Tomim Tombeni, who is leading the Okai Mola operations here in Everton, just making sure that people are not breaking the law under the COVID-19 lockdown, by doing so endangering themselves and, of course, the lives of others as well.
All right, Nkosazana Dambuza, thank you so much for this report.